All right, so this is where we have Ghost, Scorp, and S99 bands. All right, so Boss Island, we have a Chavez Boss, Immortal Abomination, and Quicksilver, or Titania, going to be pretty good. Kingpin, any of the armor burn options, focusing more on those without debuffs. Future Ant-Man comes to mind as the best option. You're going to see one here in a bit that is decent at best. Domino, Omega Sentinel, or Nimrod. Doom, you've got Apocalypse and Magneto. Spot, you've got Fury and Mole Man. Sasquatch, you've got Doom, Archangel, and Quicksilver. Hazard Shift isn't up. I'm assuming that's to ward off any Kingpins. And then Bishop, you've got, Mephisto, not Bishop. You got Infamous Doom, which we actually did. You've got Kitty Pryde. You've also got Blade. 1 through 3 on the way out. Korg can really be taken with anyone. You can either pick your armor burn champs that don't place a lot of debuffs and slap on a White Magneto pre-fight, or you can use someone like Falcon who shuts the node and the global off. Path 1 thing, you've got Falcon, Black Cat, Tigra, and then Magneto, you've got Omega Sentinel is your strongest option. Gallon will also work. Path 2, Mangog, Titania, or Cassie or Ant-Man. And then Storm, Infamous Doom, Omega Sentinel, Nimrod with the Odin pre-fight. And then Infamous Doom, Cosmic Ghost Rider, or Claire. 4 through 6 on the way in Section 2, Tigra, you've got Mr. Negative and Titania. Quicksilver on the way out, you've got Fury and Mole Man. Path 4, whole thing, Mole Man, Fury. You can use Doom or Absorbing Man for Null if you don't want to use either of those skill options. Path 5, Kitty Pryde, Omega Sentinel or Nimrod, and then Abs Man. You've got Kitty Pryde, you've got Immortal Abomination, focusing on Special 3 or Mr. Negative. And then Path 6, Bishop, Cap Sam or Infamous Doom. And then Scorpion, you've got Magneto, you've got Apocalypse, you've got Archangel. Plenty of options there. 7 through 9 on the way out. Gore, Rintra, or Wiccan, or Tigra. Sauron on the way in. Nimrod or Omega Sentinel. Just slap on some Odin pre-fights to help out. And White Magneto. Path 7, Mojo, Titania, Cassie, Mr. Negative, Shocker, Gallon, or Hulkling. Path 8, Venom, you could use the Wiccan, Rintra, or just go with someone like Doom. And then Apocalypse, Omega Sentinel, or Nimrod. Path 9, Weapon X, you've got Absorbing Man, you've got Thing, you've also got Nimrod and Warlock, and then Wiccan, Ant-Man, Cassie, Titania. Actually, the 2 shock options do not use. That'll get you nuked down with degen. But Titania with Absorbing Man synergy or a Bleed Immune will do the trick. Just kind of avoid, so Kingpin for the shrugging, the neutralize. Just avoid parry as much as you can. 1 through 3 in Section 2 on the way in. Cap Sam, easy Gallon fight. I'm sure Hulkling or any of the other. You could actually just use like Omega Sentinel or Mr. Negative and stick to Special 3s. Zemo, Colossus or Apocalypse. JJ, Jabari Panther with the Black Panther synergy, or you can use Shang-Chi, or you can use Valkyrie. 1 through 3 in Section 1 on the way out. Storm, you have Infamous Doom. You have Nimrod, just Invuln instead of PS1. Path 1, Rintra. You have Archangel. You have any of the science options that reverse healing, so Mr. Negative, Immortal Abomination. And then Terrax, you have Absorbing Man. You could use Namor. Can also use Rintra, Wiccan, any of them really. Path 2, Symbiote or Spidey Supreme. You have Cassie, Ant-Man, Titania, Killmonger. You've got Surfer or Cosmic Ghost Rider. And then Path 3, Man-Thing, you have Omega Red. You have Ant-Man, Cassie, and Titania, and Mr. Negative. 4 through 6 on the way out, Wong, you have Titania and Quicksilver. Path 4, Void, you have Moleman, you have Kingpin, you have Crossbones, you have Shang-Chi, you have a list of options, you have Fury. Path 5, Hulkling, you have Absorbing Man, you have Claire. Fury, you have White Magneto, Apocalypse, Omega Red. Path 6, White Magneto, you have Omega Sentinel and Nimrod. 7 through 9 on the way out, Long Shot. You can go with Kingpin. You can go with Jabari Panther. You can go with Shang-Chi. You could go with Absorbing Man, Anti-Venom. There are a lot of options. You just kind of have to, play Long Shot like you're playing Long Shot. Path 7, Atuma, Colossus, Apocalypse, and then Annihilus, Absorbing Man. You could still use Apocalypse. Just stun through block. Path 8, Maw, Titania, Ant-Man, Mr. Negative, and then Nova, Absorbing Man, Doom. And then Path 9, Penny, Hulkling, one of your top options. Angela would work too at a high sig. And then Havoc, you have Nimrod. It's probably your best option, Nimrod and Infamous Doom. And you just got to watch the Power Focus 1 and the Prowess build up. So that does it for defense. Let's take a look at attack. All right, so War 6, we are up against Night Guardians. Today, I am taking in Civil Warrior, Claire, and Quicksilver. Got Path 5 in Section 1, Path 3 in Section 2, two mini bosses on Boss Island, and I'm on boss duty. So, this was a long war in more ways than one, and this Claire match should pretty much illustrate that. So, you guys have seen me take Hulkling here with Claire before. Game plan is power back boosts, get into poison, throw special 2. I was going to bait out special attacks. There we were at 20 charges, so we throw the special 3. And then with the special 3, it'll take off chunks. He'll regen back thanks to debuff immunity from knockdown. The buff immunity debuff does not stay there, so he's going to regen pretty much the entire fight. But that's it. After throwing the special 3, you wait for the protection to come back so that you don't lose the debuff immunity, or that you wait for his debuff immunity passive to fall off so that you can place the debuff immunity debuff. Otherwise, it ruins this rotation. But this is all it is. Special 2, pull out whatever special he's got, throw special 3 while you've got the Fury and max charges, rinse and repeat. And I think this is the first time taking a rank 5 Hulkling here. So you can see how long this fight is taking. I think it takes 5, maybe 6 special 3s to finally KO this dude. Again, just because he's regenning after every sequence of moves. So honestly, I love Absorbing Man here for this, but with the fights that were assigned to me and the fact that these paths worked out for what I was being sent with, my Absorbing Man on defense meant Claire was coming. So down goes Hulkling. But that fight took really long, and that's pretty much how the rest of the war is. Wong here, I always thought Quicksilver would work. Quicksilver has worked with Mojo here. He has worked with Chavez here. I don't see a reason why he wouldn't work here with Wong. The only thing we have to look out for is watching his mystical charges, and once they get to 90, we need to make sure we parry in heavy. If you do not have a White Magneto pre-fight, that means you need to wait to knock him down, or just get the passive debuff immunity off of Wong and let it expire before you go for that. So game plan here was just to build the special 2. We keep off the aggressive prowess. We build Whiplash. As we get to special 2, we're baiting out Wong's special 1s. Wither disappearing and removing spells isn't a big deal. If anything, that's kind of a safety net for us, because then we don't have to deal with his benefits when he hits us, if he hits us. Once we get to special 2, medium, light, medium, into special 2, trauma, burst, everything hits, then protection triggers. And here's where the White Magneto pre-fight comes in. I decided I wanted to kind of wait out the debuff immunity and the protection so that I can start building Whiplashes again. Plus his charges started to get close, so you're going to see me kind of back off here or start to just parry and do a couple hits to remove the prowess. So we're getting close to 80. Here I'm kind of alert. I'm getting ready, setting myself up for this 90. What I was not expecting was to miss a parry and him throw a heavy that removed some of the charges, so mentally I just still went with the parry heavy, and once I saw where his charges were at and that I had the Fury, I just decided, let's special to him, and it's going to KO him. So, Quicksilver handling the Mystics on node 19 pretty well. Move on to our next long fight, and it's this infamous Doom here on Path 3, Chitinous Thorns with Spaced Armor. We are using Claire. The only armor up he's got or will get is from his own kit. Starting with it, we are going to nullify it eventually. Sometimes it might fail due to the glancing. But the game plan here was just to stay in bleed, Curse of Blood, and throw special 2s and just strip him away. I'm pretty comfortable dexing the special 1, but what you're going to see is there are a couple times where it's not so pretty. Also, he's got some weird reach with his uppercut light that if you're not ready for, you're going to get punished for. So there was nothing special about this fight. It was just a really long fight since Claire doesn't do a lot of damage with special 2 in the Curse of Blood. But at least it's kind of a safety net because you can heal back some of the damage. But yeah, between special 2 and special 1, it's just a bait fest. When he does get the Aura of Iron, we have to be ready to wait it out before throwing our special 2. Otherwise, he is going to resist the end of it, and then we're going to get punched in the face, just like Doom. So yeah, that's why I sped this up. There's nothing special about it, nothing really pretty about it. And it is somewhat of a longer fight. So you need to have your players that are on their toes and can handle longer fights, especially with a champion like this. At some point in this fight, you will either forget or just not pay attention to the fact that you can't parry his medium. If your game plan going in wasn't already to not rely on parry, but mostly rely on baiting heavies or retaliating special 1s. So that's where the length of the fight starts to be an issue. And see, 1 minute and 40 seconds left. So next up, the fight I was most worried about because I know how sketchy this fight can be. Since Quicksilver was going in, I got assigned this Sasquatch, even though Doom's a lot safer and wasn't banned. So my first mistake, if you're watching, I for some reason use a PS1 and I didn't see myself click PS1 there. I find out when this start fights and I have 1 bar of power. And that's where I kind of go, oh crap, we didn't use an invulnerability boost here. Now, luckily, I had already used a special 3 defense, and Quicksilver's got a lot of debuffs. So I was hoping that if I do end up taking special 3s, that I was going to be able to reduce a lot of the damage and avoid getting KO'd. However, if you guys watched me take this last season, I got special 3'd, I think, 3 times, maybe even a 4th. So it's really dependent on whether this AI is going to throw his special attacks on the way to you building your special 2. So here we are. He hasn't hit Wrath just yet. Trying to bait out this special attack. He may not use it. Good thing he does. Decide to make some room. And unlike last time, since I don't have that invulnerability boost, I decide that I am not going to push him red while he's in Wrath. I do decide to get rid of this special 2 instead of getting pushed to special 3. So at this point, I'm thinking I'm going to be against the wall, baiting out heavy attacks and special attacks while I wait for Wrath to end so that he'll actually lose power when he throws special attacks. So here we are. It ended. I decide to make a little more room, and he throws special 2 right away. Perfect. So that gives me a little more play. Finish that. He throws a special 2 against the wall. Perfect. We are in terminal velocity. So at this point, I'm not thinking I'm going to detonate special 2. I'm going to double whatever whiplash we have with special 2 and then try to get it to end after throwing the special 2. So here we are, special 2. After we build a little bit more whiplash, this doubles it because we're in terminal velocity. And then I'm going to detonate it. He's going to throw a special 2 that pauses that timer. And then while this is going on, I think I get to a special 1. No, I do, but I don't throw it. So down goes Sasquatch without eating a single special 3. Next fight, most worried fight. Well, second most worried fight. And it wasn't because of how difficult this was going to be. It was just, I knew this was not, with Aspect of Evolution, this is going to be sketchy. So Rank 3 Civil Warrior here. All that we're taking advantage of is the attack tactic and Civil Warrior's special 2 power drain, which is supposed to rip off 2 bars. And if we left it at that, if Kingpin never got more combat power rate, and if the aspect of evolution, which also boosts that combat power rate, didn't reduce the amount I would power drain, I would have no worry with this. As long as it's over within the 5 minutes, this is a very, very easy fight, very straightforward. And the part that made me nervous was the unknown. Like, if it works out that it's just special 2 after special 2 after special 2, without me having to consistently convert armor ups to furies, which is a whole nother thing on its own, then there would be no issue. However, as you're watching this, and I sped it up because it took forever, you're seeing that every hit is giving him more power as he gains a bar of power, and that 5% increase from aspect of evolution kicks in. So the other annoying thing about aspect of evolution is that the armor burn can make the defender jump back and forth between the line. So on the way from special 1 to special 2, or just shy of his special 2, that's more percentages being added to AoE. So you can see here it's getting kind of dicey. When I know that I'm going to be able to do a full combo and get my special 2, I'm okay with pushing him over special 2, but for the most part, I kept him shy of special 2 and always baited special 1. White Magneto pre-fight so that we had reliable stuns, especially when he doesn't have any power, because AoE will up his damage as well. And then at this point, I have stopped converting armor ups to do the special 2. I need the power control. Earlier, I was doing it just conveniently during his special 1s, and we end up soloing the fight within the last minute. So definitely a stressful fight, but I'm glad it worked out this time. And then my last fight I was most excited for. I have been talking about how Quicksilver is a huge counter to America Chavez, and this right here kind of sort of proves it. I decided to just go with the detonate special 2 rotations instead of getting into terminal velocity, doubling whiplash, and then expiring it, and then maybe throwing a special 1 while it expires. Mainly because I want to see how badly the physical resistance kicks in on this boss node for Quicksilver, since we've seen a lot of Sasquatches through the season. I don't expect us not to continue seeing Sasquatches. So game plan here was to bait heavies, hit her on the last one. It didn't matter if she triggered negative zone. All I have to do is get 1 dex in and place that with her, and it's gone. And that's where the massive counter to Chavez comes into play. Even if she tries to open dimensions, even if I push her to special 3, I can rip every dimension off pretty easily, especially if she's just special 1 spamming. And then if we get in a scenario where she's over special 1 and she has a couple dimensions open and she does gain power from throwing special 1, if we have placed a few withers before that, her power gain is either going reverse or nowhere. So it is a very, very safe fight, obviously, if you're not getting hit. With the physical resistance on this node, there could be an argument that the terminal velocity and doubling whiplash to over 50 and letting that expire would be the fastest play. But I mean, if you don't want to have to put or have to thread that needle, it's very easy and very casual just to build the special 2s, do a medium, light, medium when you're at special 2 and throw that special 2 and just take off chunks of her at a time. So yeah, this is that fight. Pretty easy, looks pretty casual. What I will say is that what you have to practice for this fight, since she is stun immune, is dexing the last part of this special 1 here and then retaliating. Quicksilver enters his dash and leaves his dash faster than you would think. So any hesitation of when he leaves his dash to go back in could result in you getting parried. But you see here, I'm very comfortable with this. I didn't have it happen once. She only threw special 1s, never got to special 2s, never had more than 1 dimension open at a time. And when there were times where she had special 1 and had a dimension open and I didn't feel like I had enough whiplashes, I just held block to get her to come in so I could dex that attack before I started baiting her special 1. And then this special 2 ends it. So very satisfying war when I can bring Quicksilver and have him take 3 or more fights. And yeah, that was a satisfying war, even though I was nervous about it all day. Our battle group ended up beating theirs 2-1, so we had a pretty good war, only dying once. And then as a whole, we ended up winning this war 17-6. So we're in the range we've always said we're trying to shoot for. 6 is an improvement from last war, obviously. But yeah, we just got a lopsided matchup. So was happy to get one of those with the position we were in. We are 2-4. So hopefully we can start getting on a winning streak here to get back into Masters to make the end of the season a little bit prettier, a little bit less stressful. But yeah, happy that we pulled that out. Happy I had a quick silver war. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit subscribe, give it a like, and I will catch you guys at the next war.